Hi everyone, welcome to my week 4 discussion board presentation on body language. The future job position I've been researching during the last few weeks is that of a senior operations technician. That's different than my current position. As a senior, I'd be in charge of a few other staff members below me, and I'd be less involved in the day-to-day activities. I'd be more involved in helping troubleshoot and teaching my fellow staff members how to deal with certain situations in the treatment plant, and I'd be more involved in project management with other departments in the district. So for the subject on body language for the interview process for my field, one very helpful source was my current supervisor, so I was able to ask him some questions and get some feedback on what kinds of body language they're looking for when hiring a senior level type position. Some other sources that I was able to look up on the internet was one source was from Forbes website, and the other two websites. Pretty much I looked up leadership body language styles that my industry would be looking for in this type of position. The senior level would be required to be a good leader, strong leader, and be able to work well with others and be more of a mentor in this role. So I chose 5 body language tips that are commonly sought out for in my field for this type of level leadership position. And based off the feedback I got from my supervisor, these are the following top 5. So first off is you definitely want to start off, have a solid handshake. That's your first impression when introducing yourself to the interviewers in the interview panel. There's multiple ways of getting the handshake wrong. Here are a few examples. There's one called the vice. When you're shaking, your grip is too strong, you come off as too aggressive. The lobster claw is just a very awkward handshake, and what's called the dead fish, when they catch you by surprise or you just have a weak handshake. So definitely want to practice on your handshake. Tip number 2 is always have a good posture during the interview process. You definitely want to sit upright in your chair if you're sitting down during the process. You don't want to slouch over or overextend your back. And definitely you don't want to you want to try to avoid touching your face if possible. Tip number 3, never ever cross your arms. Crossing your arms just could send a lot of different signals to the interviewers in the panel. You could come off as defensive, arrogant, annoyed, irritated, confused, or worried. So that definitely do not want to cross your arms during the interview process. Tip number 5, always smile. My supervisor emphasized how often they might have a good candidate, very knowledgeable, very experienced, but they come off as grumpy just because they never smiled throughout the interview process. So definitely want to keep that in mind and remember to smile during your interview. And number 5, eye contact. You definitely want to have a good eye contact with all the people involved in the interview panel. Solid eye contact. You don't want to single somebody out or just have your eye focus on just one of the interview panels. You want to make sure you interview everybody accordingly. And a personal tip of my own, from my experience, you don't want to show up to interview tired. Your tiredness will be picked up immediately from the interviewers. You don't want, especially if you're yawning during the interview process, that's already showing a bad sign, and that you can't even prepare or get enough rest the day before to show up prepared for an interview. And yeah, those are my 5 tips. And hopefully if you follow these tips, you'll be able to be happy like Homer Simpson over here with a job. Thank you.